As of now, I don't know if my Clippers have won Game 6 yet. Go Clippers. Clippers in 9. I haven't even seen the game yet. They're gonna have to add an extra 2 games. Go Clippers. This is my soundbite. Go Clippers. I just know that they won before my podcast ends. They lost. Go Clippers.
But what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Welcome to
another episode of
Random Ass Convos with Twilla and Dion.
Is it Random Ass Conversations or Convos?
Convos.
Okay.
I think we say both, but it's Convos because it's easier to write.
Yeah.
This is Dion. I'm really proud. This is episode 15. I know it's a small milestone, but it's a milestone.
It is a milestone. Even though we recorded 6 that we never aired because Twilla got uncomfortable about the sound, the look of it, and what she had on. She had a spaghetti stain on her collar. And we made a whole episode and she refused to record that one.
Well, first of all, that sounds like something I would do.
No, it's not sound like you 100%.
But also, I'm saying, like, let's celebrate the fact that, you know, like, I'm trying to step outside my comfort zone in these ways.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
I wish 100%. Y'all don't see the real Twilla. Twilla is 156% turned up all the time.
What?
This is me pulling her. This is me pulling her out of her comfort zone doing this podcast. I'm doing this for community service. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here.
You don't want to ever be in front of the camera.
She wanted to do this. I said, I'm supposed to be, you know, teaching bar mitzvahs and you know, building synagogues over in Prague.
Wow. So what I just learned right now is that you are of the Jewish faith.
No, what did I just say?
Building synagogues.
I said teaching
and teaching
bar mitzvahs. Teaching. I learned it from a book, and I teach teachers on how to do bar mitzvahs.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah.
You know, coaches, they understand basketball, but they can teach it to other people.
Yo, did not know. My brother taught me this, and maybe it's common.
Keep going.
But I just assumed everyone who was like a coach in the NFL played at some point in time. What?
Yeah, that's you learn it. You learn it. You
but
understand
how do you
the fundamentals.
Players be like if I was a player, I'd have no respect. They'd be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about.
It's like
you ain't never been on that field.
it's like a first-time filmmaker. You know, you like if somebody say, hey, I got an incredible script. You go to somebody and say, hey, I'm telling you, it's gonna save souls. It's gonna captivate the audiences. I'm telling you. They're like, yeah, you never wrote a movie before. You never filmed anything. It's like, give me a chance.
Yeah.
I understand the fundamentals of it. I watch YouTube tutorials.
You ain't been on the field. You ain't know.
What's the fundamentals of it?
I mean,
I
understand that. I understand the rules.
It's like
and stuff,
saying,
but that makes it feel even more like, how do you say, like with the players, a lot of players being black and a lot of coaches being white. It feels a lot 100%. Like I knew with the owners.
The word is called owners.
Yeah, Yeah.
Who's the owner of the team?
You own me. I'm a full person. Sorry.
2/3 of a person.
Dude. Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to be back. Yeah. And I do want to shout out because you do say, Twilla, I want you to show more of your personality. I wish people knew who you were. I don't think it's that I don't show my personality because you know how people are multifaceted. And one facet that most people get is like the chill me.
Yep. A lot of chill.
And I like being the chill me, but I also enjoy being the silly one for those who know me. Yeah. So I do appreciate you trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You trying?
I'm trying because what's happening with Twills is she's going through this like this caterpillar butterfly effect right now. She's trying to come out of her cocoon. The problem is people look at her and say, "Hey, the cocoon girl," and she
Not that sound though.
She'll suck back into the
I don't like that.
She'll come out and she.
Because people call me the cocoon girl.
Yeah, hey, you the cocoon girl. She'll mold herself back into the cocoon.
I don't like this.
Hey,
visual.
you just had wings. But because you're trying to be this person that people see you as, and like I know the upfront, bold, like takes chances, Twilla, but you immediately start to kind of like alternate what you're going to say because you feeling like I don't know what people are going to think about this. Like, Twilla, you're the one who's editing this. You can edit it out. You can literally say, kill all white people. You can say that and you'll be like, I went too far. I can cut that out.
That makes my job harder. I get what you're saying, friend. Yeah, I get it.
Go loose. Get nuts.
And then, like, you fast forward, and then the next thing you know, I was canceled. Before I was even...
I didn't even go that far to it. I didn't know. Dang, who would have thought that you would have... God, you
I went nuts.
You did a number with the abortion joke, man. That was not cool, man. A lot of people didn't like that.
Oops.
But yeah. Excited to be back.
Excited to be back.
Lots of stuff to talk about.
Lots of stuff to talk about. What I love about this show is that there's always so many things to talk about, but we only pick 3, sometimes 4 topics from our random ass mug. And
we're going to have some random ass mugs coming soon.
Yes, for sure, because everybody needs a random ass mug. Mm-hmm. You want to draw first? Nervous. I don't even remember what's in there. I don't remember what's in there.
This is not a... Wheel of Fortune. Is he gonna get bankruptcy or is it $10,000? Anti-vaxxing. I hate that I picked this. Let me tell you something about Twilla. Twilla is the most overprotective hypochondriac.
Listen, first of all, if I wanted my diagnosis and stuff to be in the streets, I would have said it. You don't have to
what did I say? What did I say?
You over here talking about my sensibilities.
Yes, you are over the top. Hey, make sure you wash your toes too, because your hands is not the only thing that touch things. Like, yo, calm down. Hey, he just touched your shoulder. Make sure you take a shower because he might have. He might. I'm not saying don't take precautions, but she be studying the LA Times, New York Times. She got like in her smoothies, she has like all these sort of vaccines and cocktails inside of it. She got Moderna Johnson. Yeah, got that Jackson. See, when I said that, I thought she was gonna laugh. You made me feel uncomfortable. As in, like, no, I'm joking. Oh, you pretty much just sit in the crowd. Yo, and then the clown came in and said, "Those are my balls." Next thing you hear.
I was just letting you have your way. I didn't know you were on stage. Mm-hmm. My bad, homie.
I'm always on stage.
I see.
Many employees in colleges have started requiring employees and students to be employed or attend school. Is this fair?
I think did I write that? Many employers and colleges have started requiring employees and students to be vaccinated in order to be employed or attend school.
Where's vaccinated?
Is this fair?
Where's vaccinated at? You just gonna add a word? Where's the word vaccinated?
Is it fair?
So obviously you messed up.
This is what happens when I have to write by hand.
I don't even know what I read. So is it? Are you asking? Should schools require? Is it unfair for institutions to require vaccinations? I don't think it's my business. Point. Period. Blank. This is my business. Does it period
point blank?
I don't know. Is it period point blank? What I say?
You said point period blank. Or point blank period, but it wasn't period point blank.
The point is, I'm on my period and I had a blank. All right.
So you think that
it's my business?
It's your business. So this is what gets me. Since the time, ever since I can remember, we were required to get vaccinated to go to school, right? To start kindergarten. A lot of colleges required you to have certain vaccinations. That if you didn't get it as a kid or sometime missed, you have to get them to go to college to stay in the dorms. Not just to go to college, but in order to stay in the dorms. And then if you travel outside the country, there's certain vaccines that you must have in order to travel to come back to the U.S.
But is it called vaccines?
Yes.
But also, has the vaccine took 4 months to create?
That's a whole nother thing. Hold on. So I'm saying like the fact that you started, your answer was, it's my business. Right. It's never our business. I mean, like, it's always been a requirement of some form institutionally. So to that, I say, like, basically, like, you have to get vaccinated in some scenarios. This is not new. I don't know where we've been. And we've been talking junk about the people who don't like to get their kids vaccinated or vaccinated themselves for certain things for years. And now all of a sudden, people are like, hey, you shouldn't require the vax.
Right. So I think the problem is there was a campaign of the vaccination isn't what it is. And then also there was a campaign of like, they're putting chips in this, or, it was a whole bunch of...
Yeah, false information.
It's a lot of false information.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the Johnson & Johnson thing happened with the blood clots. I don't know if it's like 1 out of a million chances.
Yeah, it was happening. Like 6 people. And it was bad. Like, I'm not, like... Downgrading that at all because, it's horrible. But still, like, out of all the people that received the vaccination... it was the handful of people. So I think I'm gonna always say I understand people's distrust of government and distrust of medicine because we can talk about systematic inequalities in the healthcare system and how we've been, especially as Black people and people of color, have been mistreated and experimented upon in society. That's facts. But also as people of color, we're the ones dying at higher rates because of these injustices, systematic injustices. We're dying at higher rates due to COVID, right? So now we have a vaccine and people don't understand that a lot of times this vaccines take so long to get pushed through. One, because of bureaucracy, but also not understanding that we have new technologies that allow medicines to get developed faster. Furthermore, a lot of times people don't know when they're in an experimental or clinical phase of medicines. Like that always happens, maybe not at this mass level, but we really have to understand that the coronavirus is not new. Studying the SARS is not new. People are already working towards vaccines. So that's why we were in this place where we could get it. So I really think there has to be better campaigns of informing people of what the vaccine is and what it is not. It is not the virus going into you. Like we have to understand that. You have to understand that these vaccines are helping us, are trying to basically keep us alive if we do contract the virus, and is also trying to, stop the aggressive behavior of the virus, like stop it from the virility of it from being so rampant.
We had a conversation earlier today. Is the vaccine things you don't need to tell people, like being vaccinated? Somebody's like, "Oh, I think you asked too many questions." Like that's private.
Yeah,
is that private.
In workplaces, in my work, we weren't allowed to tell people. Like you couldn't ask somebody if they had the vaccine, but if they offered up that information, you.
So what's the problem? As in, because it's like a hate speech or something.
I guess it's more so trying to protect people from like a culture of shaming.
Oh, he got vaxxed, y'all. Like that sort of
Or yeah, like to imagine being like, oh yeah, I got my vaccine, and somebody over there is quiet. At work, you can't just be like, wait, did you get your vaccine? Because that's
we can't hang out with him. He's not vaccinated.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be hanging out with him anyway. Anyway, another thing that I feel like if this is my house, my business, right? My business, my house. Using this analogy, if my house requires you to not wear shoes in my house, and you telling me why do I gotta take my shoes off? I was like, because it's my house, and my rules are to walk in my house, take your shoes off, and then they say, I think that's unfair because this wasn't always like that. Otherwise, I know it wasn't always like that. I got white carpet now. And I can provide you with some socks.
Right.
They're like, nah, I'm not wearing a mask either. I'm not wearing socks.
Yeah.
It's unfair that I want to go to game night with my shoes on.
Yeah, I think because one, you have to respect, like private institutions can set up rules, absolutely, about what they want to take place. But also, like, my concern is, or when I look at people saying it's not fair for an institution to require you to get it, I'm like, but if you're working in close proximity with other people, it's not just about you at this point. It's about other people's health.
Right.
And it's about liabilities for that company. Like, if I have you working in this space and now you're spreading COVID to all of my, potentially spreading COVID or getting COVID because you're in this place, I don't want a lawsuit. And also, I just started back business. I'm not trying to shut down again because you didn't want to adhere to these rules. And there's no shaming. Like I said, I completely understand if you don't have the vaccine, if you don't trust it, if you have health reasons. I get it, but there's also consequences to making those decisions. And you can't always have it both ways. You can't have your cake and your icing too. Is that what the saying is?
God, we are exhausted. Cake and eat it too.
Oh. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So you can't have your cake and icing?
Yes, you can definitely have your cake and icing. You have the icing on the cake. That's the whole. That's a double trope.
You right.
Yeah. That's that.
That's that. All in all, do you, but don't be mad when somebody be like, sorry, you can't come. That's what I got from it. All right. Hollywood reports. So many shows are being rebooted. We had Will and Grace, 90210, and now The Wonder Years. Why is Hollywood bringing back so much old material and refusing new material?
Because they want their money back, man.
Explain.
Because I know you know about this. The people need to know about this. The reason why people do reboots, because it worked before with that generation. Like, say, for instance, for a audience of 12 to 35, that audience was captivated by The Wonder Years in 85 to
whatever.
92, right?
Yeah.
There was a captivating audience that loved The Wonder Years. They're going to use the same format in 2021. They're going to flip it with a black family and see if it works again.
Yeah.
Because now people are when I was young, I used to love that show. Let me watch it again. That's for the older audience. And then now they can kind of say, yeah, hey, son, check this out. This is what I used to watch when I was a kid. You're going to love it, man. I'm telling you, it's a great show. And they can probably get a double up if they release the Wonder Years on Paramount Plus. Like, now they're watching the old and the new.
Kind of like Boy Meets World and then Girl Meets World.
Yep.
So it's that fun bringing those old characters back, but seeing new and younger people.
My daughter's watching Girls and Boys Meets World.
Mm-hmm. They like it?
Yeah. Well, my oldest, Kaylee, likes it. I don't know about Katie's. Katie's time span is very quick. They brought back Punky Brewster. You knew that?
Oh, I forgot they were doing that.
Yeah, it just said the season finale. So
oh wow!
Obviously, it knew too well because nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I think there's also like that. We're at that age where the people in Hollywood brokering these deals are those people who were enjoying the TV shows.
Yeah,
and so they're like,
"I want to bring that back.
I'm bringing that back. I always wanted to be on that show. For it.
Yeah,
yeah."
And
because if I was in charge, we'd have a different world. I already have the script written.
Yeah,
I would do.
With the same characters or different?
A new generation. So like, I think you should still have, like you could see the old characters either like as professors or something, rich alumni or whatever, just coming back, or parents. But then it focuses on like maybe. In my story, Dwayne and Whitley's child.
Oh, you telling too much.
You're right. So I'm gonna just stop it right there. But and then like those friends at that place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we got to stop. We have a timestamp here. July 1st.
July 1st.
July 1st when we talked about this. So if anybody said we stole that idea, we said it on July 1st as a stamp that it's already written.
2021. It's been written for a while.
So as of now, before we get any further, when this comes out, I don't know. As of now, I don't know if my Clippers have won Game 6 yet. So I'm going to throw this hat on and say, yeah! Go Clippers! And for those who don't know, I have been a Clippers fan for 20 years. All right? I came to LA. People thought I was going to be a bandwagon and jump on the Laker bandwagon, and I refused to. And when I was working at T-Mobile, somebody gave me a free season tickets to the Clippers, and that was the only games I went to. Season tickets.
They gave you free season tickets?
Free season. I mean, they didn't give me free, but it was like a pamphlet that said, you have to sign up to get these season tickets, and you have to let them know in advance, and you get these season tickets. Even though there's in the bleachers. Yeah. Like the C. Was it C-section? Blue nosebleed. Whatever.
Nosebleed.
I said C-section. I'm sure that's the thing. I'm sure. I mean, if there's an A section, B section, there has to be a C section, right?
Yeah, it's also a medical procedure.
Yeah, I know, but why can't it just?
I don't know. I just automatically thought medical procedure, but anyway, somebody pimped you out, gave you free season tickets, and then you've been a fan of the Clippers ever since.
I've been a fan of the Clippers
for 20 years.
20 years in silence because they weren't that great. Of course, when Lob City was doing their thing with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, they were doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. I can for real vouch for you on this. Yes. I've not known you 20 years, but I've known you, 10?
Yep.
And you definitely, a little longer than 10 years, but you've definitely been pro Clippers. Mm-hmm. And I won't say anti-Lakers, but you're not bandwagon. No. So you won't cheer for people mostly because everybody's cheering for somebody else. Yep. It's the most annoying thing when it's your team. Yep. But yeah.
Twilla knows that I'm not a bandwagon at all. So anytime we at a sporting event, I will ask the crowd of people, who y'all going for? Y'all going for San Francisco or going for Kansas City? All right, cool. Everybody going for San Francisco? Okay, I go for Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm always the bandwagon. Yeah. And typically I'm fine being the butt of the joke, or I love being the loudest one and shutting up the crowd.
He's always going to be the loudest one.
I don't know how to. I don't know what to say. I said that.
You said that, and I'm just gonna say you're always gonna be the loudest one. You were like, and I'm like, it's not an option.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine being the butt or the loudest one in the group.
Always both.
Go Clippers.
You want me to look it up?
But by any chance, because I'm gonna watch the replay. By any chance, they lose this game. I'm not even taking it back. Go Clippers. Clippers in 9. They're gonna have to add an extra 2 games. Clippers in 9. Go Clippers. I haven't even seen the game yet. This is my soundbite. Go Clippers. I haven't even seen the game yet. I just know that they won before my podcast ends. Go Clippers. But by any chance, they lost. Go Clippers.
Go Clippers.
I think they need to remove the purrs.
And go Clips.
Clips. That sounds dope. As in like gun clips. Right?
Well, that just turned violent.
Yeah, there's a lot of... All these animals are violent. Let's talk about the sports violence. Grizzlies. You know those things are nice?
Lakers.
Man, I don't know why they call themselves Lakers. Dude, every Raptors. All these animals are violent. Why can't we be Clips? But they did have... they have to change the name to the Wizards. There used to be Bullets. That was definitely...
yeah, I forgot they were the Bullets. Yeah. The Wizards were magically evil. I don't know if they're evil.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is the one basketball mascot that doesn't have an S on the end?
They're going to be plural.
9, 8.
Wait, stop.
7.
Oh, man. All of them do. Magic. Is it Magic? The Orlando Magic.
You're going to take off the S. You're in the right area, though.
I don't know. Who?
Miami Heat.
I forgot.
I said you was in the right area.
Yeah, and I was like,
if you went to a different state, I would have suplexed you.
I won't tell you then I was in another state.
I mean, it might be another one. I don't know, but that's what I think about all the time.
That's a good little trivia question. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. I
think we got time for one more.
Yep.
One more random ass convo.
It is literally one ass.
It's two in there.
I said one ass. We'll make it like we got a big production. Hey, yo, Sam, can I get some water? Can I get some water, Sam?
And then you hand yourself water.
If y'all don't know, there's nobody behind this camera. It's just us. We press record. These mics go directly to the camera. There's no one switching over. That's why I was one shot the whole time, man.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? Humble beginnings. All right? So I want you guys to be inspired of this production right here. All right? First one, The Cosby Show. Bill Cosby conviction has been overturned by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Some are praising the court's decisions, others are upset. Is this a matter of ethics versus legality? Did the court do the right thing?
I got something to say.
Go for it, because I have nothing to say. I really don't care about this dude.
So, okay. All right. It's so much.
She has nothing to say.
I have stuff to say, but it's so much. So, yes, I do think it's definitely like this ethics versus legality, basically meaning like, was it the right? Should Bill Cosby be in jail? Probably. But the way the case was tried was unfair. So he got out on a legality. So a lot of backstory there, but basically the courts that he was initially tried in used some testimony that they weren't supposed to use, and also allowed allow other testimony to come in that was from previous trials. So the Supreme Court of Philadelphia was like, that's not fair. This information wasn't supposed to be admitted, even though it was, and that was the damning evidence. So then the whole thing had to be overturned. My thing is, just because legally, like the court system messed up its own thing. Like you see that they don't hold their lawyers to the same standards that they hold, the rest of the world to. It basically allowed for this man, an icon,
Your father figure.
America's former father figure, to be released from jail. And I think that's unfortunate for all the women. And I know we're in a country that's innocent until proven guilty, for sure, supposedly. But also thinking about all those women who had like similar stories, that can be very nightmarish. So I see why people are upset, rightfully so. But ethically, the court did.
So I'm not justifying a rapist.
Sounds like you're about to.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But from what I heard and from what I hear is everyone was doing it, right? A lot of men were roofing women for sex. It's bad.
Okay. Please acknowledge that.
It's a bad idea, right? But if that was the norm of drugs, good times, psychedelic.
For the man. Like, that was not a good time for the woman. Like, she had no say-so in what was happening to her body. There was no consensual say-so, like, please roofie me.
I mean...
And then have sex with me.
I'm not saying that, but what if it was one of those things? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I haven't studied up on this situation. From what I heard, everyone was doing this. So
everyone was doing coke at one point in time.
Right.
That doesn't make it right.
Right, but I'm saying is in like, I'm sure people got taken advantage of on coke, coked out, drunk, right? So not the drugging aspect is 100% wrong. But being on drugs to the point that you cannot function and understand consent was the norm. That's what I'm saying. So I heard a lot of guys were doing that. As in like, oh, she's drunk.
Right.
I wanted to have sex with her now. I know it's wrong, Twilla. All I'm saying is it was the norm. So it wasn't nobody's...
You're arguing with yourself right now.
Right, because you look at it and be like, I can't believe you're saying this.
Yes, because I have stuff to say.
Right. So we all know that's wrong. All right. So imagine the transition from beating or shooting a deer, and then the transition of PETA, like, yo, you can't do that no more. It's like we were raised on this. We have to do this to survive. And it's like, this is a crime. You can't kill dogs on the street. It's like, I'm trying to eat. And then they created a whole thing, and now they're doing some retro crimes and say, yeah, back in the 80s, John Stamos killed.
This was 2004.
What I'm saying, Twilla, damn it.
Listen,
you're doing retro crimes of things that was normal at that time.
It was still within the statute of limitations, though, when you did it in 2004. Like, those other crimes were past the statute of limitations. I hear you, but then this is also why we have to bring up words like toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And this is why we have to address those societal norms. Just because men created a world and a culture in which this was okay, it's never been okay for women.
Can we say white men?
Well, this was a black man that we're talking about.
Can we say white man created this world? But he became a powerful black man. They was like, hey, you one of us now. Let me tell you how to get the ladies.
Black men do crap too. Black men are the white men of black community.
Black men don't cheat.
But some rape.
That's not funny, but God, that was a great punchline.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot, and it's hard to see. I think it's harder to see because it's Bill Cosby, and he's done so much otherwise, But at the same time, it's when the roosters come home to roost. Does something come home to roost?
Do you respect Bill Cosby if he's your dad? Like you You know everything that he has done for you, for your family, his grandchildren.
Of course, I'm gonna hold
How,
him in a different esteem. Of course.
right. But you was like, I've never even seen that from my dad. That's so weird. Or do you be like, Dad, what really happened?
I think being on the side of family is close to family, and if he's presented himself as a certain way to his kids, I'm absolutely gonna be like, my dad would never. Like his wife Camille, she's like, my babe would never. But she was more so like they consented, so maybe she would be like he did, but they were in on it. Right. But
she probably was joining in on a threesome.
You know, so at the same time, I can never say what I would do, but I could imagine myself being very sympathetic to him if he's my dad. Yeah.
So what if he was like, "Thank you, sweetheart. I know you can understand. Could you please go online and tell the people what your thoughts are?"
Nah. Well, again, if it was my father, I could definitely see myself maybe going on and writing, you know, the man that I know and the man that raised me taught me X, Y, and Z. The man that y'all describe sounds like somebody I've never met before. It's hard for me to say that these are the same people because it sounds like such a stranger. Mm-hmm. I think that's the type, when people come out to defend their friends, they always sound like assholes. Like, you know, you come out and you be like, especially when there's victims, when you have like victims of rape and then another woman comes out and be like, well, he's never, or let's just do racism. Like, so-and-so, was it Gabrielle Union said that, who was it that was very rude? Simon Cowell was very rude to her and, you know, made racist statements and things like that. And then Terry Crews comes out and it's like,
that has never happened.
That's never happened to me. He would never do that. And it's just like, bro, like then you had a different experience with him, but my experience was this. And in that moment, as a black man, I want you to shut your mouth up so you don't take away or still like support me, because obviously I experienced something different than what you did. Right. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. I think at one point Lena Dunham came out and supported one of her friends who was being accused of rape at the time. And it was just like, sis.
So this is a great conversation because, so if that's the case, why are you canceling R. Kelly? Because he hasn't done anything to you. For me, he has done a lot for me musically, right? So imagine if he pushed me out of the way of a car accident, and he saved my life, right? And this is me talking like, man, R. Kelly, man, is an incredible guy, man. He changed my life, blah, 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 this. And then somebody was like, yo, you can't listen to his music no more. You can't talk about how he praised you no more. I mean, you can't talk about how he saved you from that car no more. It's like, why? He did. It doesn't go away all of a sudden. Like, you can't talk about that no more. You only can talk negative about him. It's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Did you see the documentary?
Yes, I saw the documentary. But you just said something that reverses what you just said. You said,
I'm saying if someone comes out and says, this is my experience, like if they, because what a lot of times when you come out and say, well, this is the good that they're done, they're trying to erase the possibility that this person could also be, you know, can be a lifesaver and can be a rapist. You know what I mean? So it's people have a hard time wrapping their head around that this person can be both.
Two people, yeah.
And so when people are like, cancel R. Kelly, we let this man get away for so long, even after like the tapes came out, right? For so long, many years after that, there was just jokes about it.
We believed it was false accusations.
Nobody believed that was false.
I did. I thought it was just like, man, this is just weird that they figured out a way to find a guy like R. Kelly.
From my understanding, most people knew it was him.
I thought
there was no shadow of a doubt.
So here's the honest to God truth. When I saw the tape, I thought it was a guy that looked like R. Kelly, right? Then people was like, no, that's actually him. I was like, oh, well, He like had sex with girls, but nothing in my head factored in his age and her age. The difference was how far apart the difference was. Because in my head, I always thought R. Kelly was a lot younger, but also I thought the girl was a lot older. So I never like calculated.
Yeah.
Like, wow, is this a problem? Like he had to pee on girls, but the age was a problem. So it was times I watched it. I was like, why
Wait, how many times have you watched this?
I mean, it was Barbershop.
I've never seen it.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not. I have no plans.
On Netflix. Yeah,
I have no plans to watch
I've been to the barbershop a couple of times. They were like, yo, you got to watch the R. Kelly tape. Is that him or not? Is that him? Look at him. Look.
Yeah.
And so it was like snowy. It's like, look at him. Look what he's doing right now. As I heard, she paid him the money.
Says a lot.
What, me or the barbershop?
The barbershop. Men. It just talks about, I mean, I'm sure women did too, but it's just
well,
a cultural
how often do you get to see a celebrity's porn?
It's like every other day
weird.
now.
It's weird. It's like, how often can you say I've seen Sandra Rhimes porn? So it's like, this is crazy. She created Crazy Anatomy, yo. This is a real scandal right here. This is weird. So hearing and watching R. Kelly, like, that's not him, dude. Look at him. It's weird. It's like, he don't even have hair no more. Look, his name here. That's not him. So it was like, it was so like a.
So you were so enthralled with who it was that you couldn't basically factor in that what he was doing was
I didn't even know it
yeah.
was a crime until late.
Right.
And then by then it kind of got blown away.
Right. And so for me as a person who was like, why are we still allowing this to happen? And now it's...
You never mentioned that. I can't say
Dion,
with me.
Dion,
I can't say.
What we're going to do today, what we're going to address today is to eliminate the word never or you have never just because I haven't done it in front of you.
Before surviving R. Kelly, have you ever came to me and said, Dion, why are you listening to R. Kelly? You know,
you never really listened to R. Kelly like that. And I just always said, I'm not a fan of R. Kelly. I've always said that. I'm not a fan of R. Kelly. And if you asked why, I would have included the fact that he's also...
So why do R. Kelly get so much slander by Michael Jackson, though?
Because, one, R. Kelly right now is able to be here. He is here with us. But it's also the fact that I think people give Michael Jackson strong side eyes for what he's done, but they also, I think, probably like blame the parents a little bit on that. And it's never been
R. Kelly.
But then I was gonna say, and I don't know how concrete of evidence they had. I didn't watch that documentary, you know. And sometimes I do feel weird listening to MJ. Like,
you don't feel weird.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, should I be listening to this? Like, it's a period of time where I just was turn it off.
Yeah, I feel like R. Kelly. I feel like R. Kelly needs to have that same. I mean, Michael Jackson should have that same energy that R. Kelly is getting,
which is fine.
But
I'm fine for, and I'm saying, listen, I'm fine with us giving him that same energy. Is not that we need to take it away. Like, I think he should be somewhat punished because he's gotten away with it in plain sight for so long. The doc said he was hanging out at middle schools.
Right. So,
like,
why can't we just so we all know music is a feeling, right? Mm-hmm. So what if your favorite? What if you found out just today? You know, I don't want the Beehive to come at me, but you found out you found out that Beyonce did something outlandish, like sex trafficking children over in, you know, Zimbabwe or something like that. Is that the country? Zimbabwe. And then you can be like, no, Beyonce, why would you do this? You're not gonna cancel her. You're not gonna just eradicate her music that quick. You can be like, this is a vibe.
But it wasn't that quick for R. Kelly. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying as well is people be like, I don't care, I don't believe it. That's just the Illuminati trying to to erase the notes. We got evidence. We got her gathering children into a back of a white van. Nope. Y'all are not going to take down another black woman. Nope, we are not doing that. We got to protect our black women. Like, we have evidence of her saying, if you want another woman, go to beehive.org to get more sex. Nope, I don't believe it. Nope, y'all just trying to take us down.
We literally seeing this. Yes, we see this with R. Kelly. We've seen this with Bill Cosby. We've seen this with anybody who's being taken down. That is the cycle of grief for your celebrity downfall. Yeah, that's what happens.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
The reason why I had like a little brain fart earlier, someone was texting the hell out of me, and I was trying to think like, what could possibly be the reason why somebody's texting me this much? Either my Clippers lost or my daughters are sending me videos. So I had a panic of like, why are people texting me this much?
You're not going to check?
I'm going to check. You are not going to get my real reaction on camera.
Oh, I think the people want it, Dion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Nah, you're not going to get me. Let's see what it is from though.
You don't have message spoilers on yours?
4 text messages. See?
Oh man. Oh, yeah,
all right.
I didn't know we were gonna get that heated. So thank you for sharing that conversation. I won't be upset with you. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to point out.
What's up?
Do you remember that documentary on HBO with the Nexium?
Yeah, The Vow,
yes. So that actress, Allison
she
Mack,
finally came out, right?
Yeah, she got 3 years. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the sex trafficking part, luring women in. But I didn't realize that in October, the leader, Raynar, whatever his first name is, was sentenced to 120 years in prison.
That's not enough.
It's not.
He's 75.
120 years.
Just say until we feel like it. Don't give him a.
You ain't ever coming out.
Don't give him a time. Just say until we feel like it.
Yeah.
How long do I got? We'll figure that out.
You aren't gonna see the light of day. How about that?
Why? What's the difference between life and an actual sentence?
Like the 120. Isn't life like? I don't know. Don't get me lying.
Because life is typically like until you die.
But I think it's something like a set amount. It's still a set amount of years, right? No, life is till you die.
But no,
right?
hold up. But they do say two life sentences, right?
Yeah.
So I think life is 50 years.
Right. Life.
But also, Chris Rock had a brilliant joke in the 80s.
The 80s. He was around that long?
It might be the 90s. Maybe the 90s. He had said, "Why do we have electric chairs?" He was like, electric chairs cost money. Mm-hmm. Our money, taxpayer money. Like, just hire one nigga that has a knife and just stab them until they die. He said, stabbing is free. Like,
that's horrible.
And put him in the room.
That's so bad.
All right, y'all. We will end on the stabbing joke.
Yeah, end on stabbing joke. Please remember to subscribe.
Say that word again.
Subscribe.
Comment.
And ring that bell for notification buttons.
Yes.
Ring the bell for notification buttons. Wow.
Love you so much. Clippers in 7. Clippers versus Atlanta. I'm going with Atlanta because Atlanta feel like a much easier win. Clippers Atlanta. And if they lose, you know what? That's how much I believe in my Clippers.
We'll see you next week.
Follow us at Lacktoast ENT. Or you can follow me at Dion Lack, DionLack.
And me at Twilla Amin, TWILLAAMIN.
Woohoo!